rather dishy in the parish magazine, so I shall just go and get Mrs H to read the story for you. Sorry, maybe just take a minute, sorry. I wasn't terribly prepared for this bit.
Excellent.
Probably doing the baking in the kitchen or something. Oh, here she is, she's coming now. Anyway, yellow socks on. Anyway, there's a new curate at St Crispin's, and he's causing a bit of a stir. I suppose he's young and rather dashing, and certainly he has very white teeth, which he shows off with the assurance of a film star, but it's his modern liberal ways that seem to be upsetting the apple cart. As a long-standing member of the PCT and respected member of the flower arranging committee, I have the ear of Reverend Roger, who, it has to be said, is struggling with the new appointment. He hasn't been quite the same since Pamela left him for her Zumba teacher last year. It was a bit of a crisis when Marjorie Plod, who cleans the vicarage, opened the kitchen cupboards and found they contained nothing but pot noodles. I don't think there was any need for her to go so far as to poke about in the bathroom cabinet as well, or at least there wasn't any need for her to go so far as to mention that he'd left a bottle of Viagra in there. But at least it enabled the parish to pull together to support our ailing vicar, and we sprang into action. Since then, he hasn't had a night without a homemade shepherd's pie or a pan of soup. However, the dashing young Sebastian has rather put the wind of him. When we exchanged our usual pleasantries after his sermon, Reverend Roger muttered something about lining up my successor and the bishop sending me a clear message. Sebastian, it seems, has already made noises about modernising our church and is being heard uttering phrases like appealing to minority groups and inclusivity. That means he wants to fill my church with immigrants and homosexuals, Reverend Roger said with a dark look. Consequently, I felt a little torn, not knowing how far to extend the olive branch to the newcomer. However, our good Lord does exhort us to welcome strangers and forgive those who persecute us, and in so doing, we are told, we heap burning coals on their heads. My conclusion is that the best way to promote a little more humility in our new curate is to become a voice crying in the wilderness, proclaiming the praiseworthy characteristics of our dear vicar. Plus, I felt it imperative that I should be the first parishioner to provide an objective view of his flock before Marjorie Plod leaps in with her notorious gossip-mongering, which would doubtlessly colour his thinking from the outset. This was my thinking in issuing Reverend Sebastian with an invitation to visit me this afternoon. I made a batch of my famous sultana scones and brewed a pot of Earl Grey, which seemed the proper choice for early afternoon tea. My guest arrived by bicycle, looking rather windswept, as one might expect of someone with such long curly hair. He kissed me rather presumptuously on both cheeks, and it took me a moment to regain my wits sufficiently to ask him to remove his footwear before entering the sitting room. He was, I noticed, wearing tennis shoes, which may say something about the inadequate wages of young curates nowadays, or it could possibly be a worrying indication of his desire to connect with the youth. He certainly made himself at home, settling into Gerald's favourite seat as if he owned it. I offered up a silent prayer of thanks that I had had the foresight to wash and replace the antimacassars before his visit. His hair looked none too clean, and he clearly had no qualms about leaning back his head in my very expensive cushioned velour armchair. I opened the conversation and warned him to disregard anything Marjorie says, whether it relates to redecorating the vestry or rumours of Viagra in the vicarage. I felt it important to alert him to what we have all known for some time, that ever since Barbara left, Marjorie has developed an overinflated sense of self-importance, quite out of proportion to her role as a cleaner. Then I moved on to paint a succinct pen picture of his congregation, paying attention to the small details that would enable him to know them by sight and hopefully build amenable relationships. We laughed together about poor old Mr. Cadwallader, once a much feared police sergeant, now rendered less intimidating by his forgetfulness, which means he usually arrives at communion in his slippers. I warned him about Hilda's tendency to hand out prayer books indiscriminately at the door with no consideration for whether they are likely to be returned at the end. Once, I was forced to practically frisk a young man in a long raincoat who walked straight past her at the end of the service with 3 Bibles in his pockets. He was very apologetic and claimed he suffered from religious mania, which rendered him an obsessive thief of all things ecclesiastical. But Hilda seemed unaware of the danger. We were getting along quite nicely when I asked Sebastian what his plans were for our parish. I'd really like to see more of the younger generation joining us, he said with a smile I found it impossible to match. More young families. I missed some of what he said next as I froze at the thought of pushchairs lined up in front of the altar and the sound of infant wailing cutting through the creed. When I surfaced from my anxious musings, he was saying something about inclusivity and wanting all kinds of minority groups to feel welcome in his flock. Mr. Berger, I said without hesitation, you must meet my neighbour. He is a minority. So it was. So I ushered Sebastian across the road to make my French friend's acquaintance, feeling confident that Mr. Berger is exactly the sort of minority our church should be reaching out to. One only has to look at his hanging baskets and sparkling windows for confirmation. We shook hands on the doorstep. I made sure to prevent any over-effusive theatrical kissing this time. And Sebastian thanked me for my hospitality. I'm getting to know quite a lot of people on your street, he said. After I've met your friend, I'm going to meet the lady who lives over there. He pointed at Miss Cotton's house. Surely not. I raised an uncomprehending eyebrow. A less likely churchgoer I cannot imagine. Reverend Sebastian pushed his bicycle to the curb. They're usually the most fun. I think he winked at me. But it managed to bring the sun in his eyes. Whatever his preconceptions about Miss Cotton, I'm sure he will see what I'm meaning once he has met her. What she wants of him, I cannot imagine. I only hope she won't try to press her poorly maintained horse on him for the Christmas nativity. It's all very well wishing to be inclusive, but some people exist only to spoil the happiness of the majority. And now I've just got to go and get Polly. Well, I've always wanted to say, "Whatty, Vicar?" Now I've actually said it. But only once, because it didn't take long to realise we definitely needed something a bit stronger than tea in the circumstances. Sebastian the curate arrived looking a bit dishevelled, which seemed perfectly understandable when he told me he'd been to see both Mrs. H and Mr. Beaujay before me. Apparently Mr. Beaujay was less than welcoming. He said he didn't hold with religion because he is French, and the English would all feel a lot better if they learned how to make decent cheese. I'm not sure what that's got to do with anything, but he kept Sebastian standing on his doorstep for more than half an hour while he explained it. And he mentioned me. What a nuisance I am as a neighbour, and how, if there was really a God, he would have rained down fire from heaven on me by now as a punishment for not keeping my clematis a bit tidier. Anyway, by the time Sebastian got to me, I'd already had quite a morning. I'd gone to town with my outfit, a sort of pastoral homage to Marie Antoinette with a hint of Tessa de D'Urbervilles. After all, this is Dorset, and I wanted to look like I fitted in. And I found my old bridesmaid's dress from Connie's wedding and made a few alterations. I had to let it out a bit under the arms with a strip of Mummy's Laura Ashley tablecloth. And while I was at it, I added some black lace panels down the front for drama. And when I finished, I realised I needed the tablecloth for the table, but it was a bit late, so I had to improvise with one of the sitting room curtains. Anyway, in the end, I did quite a lot of improvising. It was such a lovely day, I thought we really should have tea under the apple tree. But then I remembered I don't have any garden furniture. So I looked out both my armchairs and decided they looked really rather cosy. So much so I sat down for a cigarette and a breather. So far so good, but it was only after that I realised I'd left it a bit late to start my first ever attempt at making a sponge sandwich. I reckoned I could do it until I realised how many things you need to make a cake. There was a bit of sugar left in the cupboard and a bag of flour, but I didn't know it was enough. It was enough because I don't actually own any kitchen scales, and when we got to the egg part, I was stumped because if the chickens have laid any eggs in the last 3 weeks, I don't know where. I got a bit panicky and added 2 cups of gin instead, which seemed to make the mixture nice and sloppy. And I shoved it in the cake tin that Sylvia had lent me and stuck it in the oven with my fingers crossed. Anyway, it was a total bloody disaster. Cake mix all over the oven and it turned into a nice shade of black. I might have tried calling it biscuits, but they tasted like coal. I didn't think Reverend Sebastian would be that impressed. So I went round to Sylvia's, rang the doorbell until she got up. It was the middle of the night in her timetable. She swore at me quite a bit and I had to make her a triple espresso while she got her baking clothes on and did a lipstick. But the bottom line is she made me a cake and you can actually eat it. Plus it was lemon drizzle, my favourite. She brought it round not long before Sebastian arrived and I suggested she might like a cup of tea. I found an actual teapot under my bed. I realised it wasn't an ashtray after all, and it scrubbed up quite nicely. Once I got rid of the green stuff in the spout. Sylvia carried the settee outside while I put the kettle on, so everything was totally organised by the time the dishy curate turned up. We were just having a relaxing cigarette on the settee when he popped his head round the gate and, "Anyone home? I've been knocking for ages." I must have gone a bit deaf. I didn't hear the front door at all, probably because my shepherdess hat came right down over my ears. And for the record, I have to say, he's very good looking. But I don't think a man whose voice is... but I think I like a man whose voice is at least a bit deeper than mine. And as soon as I ran his hand through his adorable waxed shoulder-length curls, I could just see us fighting over the bathroom mirror in the morning. His best kept just for looking at. That set got on famously. He clocked our half-finished cigarettes and said, "Oh, thank God I could murder a fag," which pretty much broke the ice. He sank into my saggiest armchair and lit up while Sylvia refilled the teapot. He said the lemon drizzle was the best he'd ever tasted. So much better than those weird scones your neighbour served me. They tasted of curry powder. So we had a little impromptu confession about under the apple tree, and I told him about my mutant gin cake, which was smoking gently in the dustbin. "Speaking of gin," said Sylvia, who had totally surprised me by staying to chat in daylight, "it's almost 4 o'clock. Time for a splash." Well, we probably should have waited till 5, but Sylvia had already vaulted the fence and she was back with a tray of cut glass tumblers, lime and tonic before we could object, so I fetched Gordon from the kitchen and Sylvia emptied the teapot onto the grass so we could go back to being an ashtray. And, I shouldn't really be saying this, but I think Reverend Roger has taken against me. Sebastian kicked off his shoes before he got stuck into his second gin and put his feet upon the arms of the settee. Is he old, a bit uptight and blessed with the looks of Winston Churchill? Asked Sylvia. Because he's probably just insecure. Polly's French neighbour's exactly the same. He's jealous because she knows how to make friends and have a good time. I'm not sure I'm having as much of a good time as Sylvia thinks, but that's the nicest thing anyone said to me since Constance forgave me for making the best man late for her wedding, so I didn't argue. "How do we make church more inclusive?" Reverend Sebastian asked with a bit of a hiccup. "I'll go mad if I have to spend every Sunday morning with those stuck-up old biddies. How do I get more people like you two into my pews?" That was an easy one. "More men," I said. "Good-looking ones, of course. I've never had a shot." "And pets," said Sylvia. "Those of us who love our animals don't want them being left out. You need to stand up to Reverend Roger, tell him it's time to modernise." Sebastian suddenly looked very interested in his gin, and I thought for a minute he might cry. I find Gordon does that to me sometimes too. I'm a bit scared of Reverend Roger, to be honest. He's very much like my father, who's terribly disappointed in me, of course. He thought I should be a stockbroker, and I really tried, but I'm just not tough enough. I never managed to drink more than 1 bottle of Bollinger at a time, no matter how hard I trained. We nodded sympathetically and made a toast to successful, pompous, power-crazy, asshole fathers who make their children feel shit about themselves. Then Sebastian leapt out of his armchair. "Even a song," he said. "I'm supposed to be taking it in 15 minutes. I don't suppose I can persuade you two to come." I thought I needed a bit more time to lay to rest the memory of the last time I was in church. It was my sister's wedding and I fell off my pew just as she was saying her vows. I'd been up all night with the best man and I had a cracking hangover, but she wasn't to know that and she made a bit of a scene afterwards, which is why it meant so much when she forgave me later. I've had a bit of phobia about all things churchy ever since. Sylvia said she'd think about it when Sebastian has persuaded Reverend Roger to include at least goldfish and dogs in his service. So we waved Sebastian off on his bike. He was a bit wobbly and I hope he made it all right. Still, the church will be more inclusive now it has a slightly drunk curate working there, so that's a step in the right direction. And there's a little postscript from Mrs H. This is the next morning. Well, I have to say, last night was the strangest evensong I have been to in a long time, if not forever. The new curate was in charge and he insisted on singing the whole thing. Now this might have been lovely, but I'm sure it's not usual to set the Lord's Prayer to the tune of Polly Put the Kettle on. This may well be another of his well-meant ideas about modernising our church, but I think he has lost all support from his parishioners after last night's performance. He announced the wrong hymn numbers twice and completely forgot the final blessing. Marjorie Plod swears she heard him snoring while we all sat and waited for the dismissal, but no doubt that's just her wanting to stir up trouble. I shook Reverend Roger's hand as usual at the door and I said, I do hope we're not intending to make this new service style a regular event. I found it rather disconcerting. Oh no, I don't think you need to worry about that at all, he replied. The bishop won't like it one bit. I have to say, he looked happier than I've seen him in a long time.